afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you in the Southern Union State Community College Center Severe Weather Center from the Shepherd's Weather Center on your Tuesday afternoon. It is 4:10 Central, 5:10 Eastern as we watch yet another severe weather event unfold across the southeastern United States. We have a lot of things going on this afternoon, so I'm going to kind of take you through it. Nothing severe pending at the moment for East Alabama or West Georgia. Though we have multiple watches out there, we have a lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain, and we have more weather back over in Mississippi yet to come. It may end up being a long night across East Alabama and West Georgia. I'll bring your attention to that scroll at the bottom of the screen. That is a tornado watch that was in effect until 4 p.m. this afternoon for a large chunk of Alabama. That has not updated just yet. We'll get that changed in just a few moments. A brand new tornado watch has just been issued from the Storm Prediction Center, and this new tornado watch covers a large area of Mississippi, down there in southern Mississippi, back over toward eastern Mississippi. Also covers a large area there in Alabama, basically from about Tuscaloosa all the way to Mobile, and then back over into central Alabama to around Coosa, Tallapoosa, and Elmore counties. Those are the two closest counties to our coverage area in East Alabama and West Georgia. That tornado watch is valid until 10 p.m. tonight. There is a chance that this tornado watch will get extended to the east as the weather comes out of Mississippi into Alabama. This is where our severe weather is, and I'll show that to you in just a few moments on radar. Yeah, we still have copious amounts of rain falling across East Alabama, and I'm afraid that we're beginning to see a setup here that may be more conducive to flooding across East Alabama and West Georgia versus severe weather, though we could end up dealing with both before the night is over with. But the immediate danger right now for East Alabama and West Georgia in the Dr. Don coverage area is going to be flooding as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon, and then we'll have to watch what these storms do that are coming out of Mississippi as to whether we'll have to deal with severe weather later on this evening or not. But we do have a flood advisory in effect for Randolph County. That's in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. Also a flood advisory in effect for Clay County that goes out till 10 o'clock, and the same thing up there for Cleburne County. And we have flood advisory and a flood warning now for Talladega County. Flood warning up there in Calhoun County. And then over in Georgia, a flash flood watch until 1 a.m. for Carroll County. Also a flood warning in effect until 7 p.m. for Carroll County. For Heard County, we're looking at a flash flood watch until 1 a.m. Central. That would be 2 a.m. Eastern. Same holds true for Troup County and down here in Harris County as well. So those are the watches and warnings that we have in effect right now. Let's go and get that off, and we'll go back to the radar. And then we'll take you down. While that's loading, let me show you. I was talking just a few moments ago about maybe we're beginning to see a flooding event set up across East Alabama, and if you'll look real close, this is the latest advisory put out from the Storm Prediction Center, and flash flooding is becoming likely. Real close, you'll see a brown hatched area, and that is going to be, and I know it's hard to see, but that's going to be Randolph, Clay, Talladega, Cleburne, in that brown hatched area, and that's where we're really concerned about the possibility of flash flooding. I'm also monitoring the chat room out of the National Weather Service office at Birmingham, and I'm just gonna read to you. Hang on. All right, I'm going to read to you what one of the warning coordinators is saying at the National Weather Service in Birmingham. He says, now you have to understand this chat room is for emergency managers, it's for local media, law enforcement, fire departments, that sort of thing. It's not open to the public. But here's the wording of what one of the warning coordinators just said. Good afternoon, all. I gotta say, hit the flooding hard. I just traveled from Birmingham to Calera, and there is water already everywhere. Anything more has the potential to cause major life-threatening flooding problems. They're very concerned about this at the National Weather Service office in Birmingham, and they're asking the media to hit that real hard because any additional rain is going to cause major problems across Alabama tonight, and the Storm Prediction Center has particularly interested in the Randolph, Clay, Talladega, Cleburne County areas of East Alabama. Having said that, always remember this. If you are out driving this evening and you see water over the roadway, don't do it, even if it only looks like it's a couple of inches or so, because here's the problem, folks. You don't know what's under that water. You don't know if the roadway is still there or not. It may look innocent, and yet you may drive right off into a washed-out culvert and drown. So if you approach water across a roadway, never, ever cross it. I know it's inconvenient. I know you may have to turn around and go a different way, but that's the safest thing to do. Never cross water that's crossing the roadway. All right, let's go back over to the radar. This is the big picture. This is showing the state of Alabama scanning from Birmingham. This is not, this doesn't show you everything that's out there because we're only looking at the Birmingham radar. We'll look at the composite shot here in just a few minutes. So let's go in a little bit closer, and first thing I want to note is this big stuff coming out of Mississippi, right there along the Alabama-Mississippi state line. You see all those circles twirling there. Those are mesoscale detections by the radar, which is an indication that there is low-level rotation in these storms. Now, again, you hear me say this all the time. All thunderstorms rotate, or they wouldn't be a thunderstorm. That's part of the structure. But when we start to see radar picking up these mesoscale detections, that's where you really start paying a lot more attention to these storms, because they are rotating closer to the ground and they are more conducive to produce possible tornadoes. So we have several thunderstorms over there in East Mississippi, West Alabama, right there along I-20 that certainly could go severe and produce tornadoes at pretty much any time. Okay, sorry, I'm having to do a couple of things here at one time. Let's take that tornado watch off. There we go. All right, now we can see which counties we have warnings going on here. And you can see the National Weather Service is warning for every thunderstorm along that line over there in Mississippi, right along the Alabama state line. So we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings over there in East Mississippi moving into West Alabama. And you see how far south that line extends. And again, you can't see all of the convection out there because we're looking at the Birmingham radar. This is just as far as Birmingham can see right now. But all of that's going to traverse across the state of Alabama. I mean, it's coming right straight for, will eventually be coming right straight for East Alabama. So I think we will see some severe weather later on this evening across East Alabama. But the concern right now across East Alabama and West Georgia is all of this rain. If you've been following my Facebook post this afternoon, I posted some photographs that was sent to me, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half ago now, showing those real dark clouds right there at the Randolph County, Chambers County line. Those clouds were moving south at that time and dumped a lot of rain across Randolph and back over across Clay and Tallapoosa and Chambers. But this line is beginning to stall out down here. As a matter of fact, there's some indication that this stuff is already beginning to push back to the north along an advancing warm front that'll be pushing north. And then we have all that stuff coming at us from the west over there along the Alabama-Mississippi state line that'll be in here later on this afternoon. So there's great concern here across East Alabama for flash flooding later on this afternoon and into this evening. And you'll see, we'll go ahead and put our Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar in motion so you can get a general feel for the direction here. And you can see the storms are actually moving off to the northeast. They're building down there along I-85 and then streaming off to the northeast. So these storms aren't moving away from East Alabama. They're still training over the same areas. And so that's why we're concerned about flash flooding. So, again, doing what the Weather Service is asking us to do, and that's to warn everybody about the possibility of flash flooding this evening. Make sure that if you're out driving around, stay away from those areas that have water covering the roadway. You don't want to take that chance. Right now, we have some heavy thunderstorms right there along the Randolph County, Chambers County line. Nothing severe. Then we have more heavy rain down here around Lynette, and then back up down there right along the Lee County, Chambers County line, then back up 280 all the way back up toward Alexander City. All right, so let me zoom back out and see if I can get that RAM warning off right quick. Okay, I'll work on that in just a few moments because I'm not going to stay on live the entire time for right now. Oh, it's gone. Good. Well, so is the radar. Let's get that back on. We might need that. There we go. So there's a good shot of the state of Alabama right now, showing all the showers and thunderstorms moving across the area. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go up here and take a look at the chat room and see if there's any questions. So if you have any questions about what we're dealing with this afternoon into tonight, now's a good time to post those questions. Always remember when you post in our chat room to be sure and tell me where you're watching from, especially if you're posting weather information, so I'll know exactly where the weather is taking place that you may or may not be talking about. One other thing I did want to show you, though, before I do that, let me go over here and take this one. Here's the latest graphic from the Storm Prediction Center on what we expect tonight, and we have two levels of risk across Alabama. We have an enhanced risk across East Alabama and West Georgia, and that will continue through midnight tonight. And then we have a moderate risk down there in Southwest Alabama. Now understand that marginal and slight are two fairly routine categories that the Weather Service uses. Enhanced is a little more uncommon, and moderate and high are used very sparingly. So when you start seeing enhanced, moderate, and high, it's time to pay attention to the graphics. So you can see that Southwest Alabama is in a moderate category, and then East Alabama and West Georgia is under an enhanced risk of severe weather this afternoon. That is a 3 out of 5, and then Southwest Alabama is in a 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather this evening. So certainly need to pay attention to this. Like I said on the primetime forecast this morning, we've been through this so many times already this season. I know it's easy to get complacent and not pay attention to what's going on, but I'm asking you at least one more time, don't do that. We saw back a month or so ago that tornadoes can and do happen in East Alabama. We had one touchdown in Randolph County that caused a lot of damage, and it was just a miracle that we didn't have any fatalities or injuries. And the reason we didn't is because everybody was weather aware. They knew what was going on. They knew how to react to it. They knew how to keep themselves safe. So that's why it's very important to be aware tonight as we go through the rest of the afternoon and into this evening. And those of you that are watching me, well, you're doing what you should be doing. But what I'm asking you to do is to call your friends and your family and make sure they're aware of the situation that we have across the area. Make sure that they have a good source of severe weather information. Certainly, I'm going to tell you to invite them to come join us here on Dr. Don's weather page because we're going to ride this thing as long as necessary throughout the remainder of the afternoon and the evening. I was just in Roanoke last Saturday night for the Randolph County Tornado Relief Benefit. I got to speak to so many of you, and so many of you were thankful for what we're doing. And I could sit here and talk all night long, but if you guys were not there, then it obviously would be pointless, and you help spread the word when we have severe weather events. So call your friend, call your neighbor, call your loved ones, and make sure they're aware that we have a severe weather possibility tonight across East Alabama and West Georgia. And, well, just tell them to come on over to Dr. Don's weather page and hang out with us. All right, so I'm going to go up here and look at the chat board and see if anybody has any questions. I see one right off the bat that I like. Kim Tate says that she has us up on the television tonight, and the radar is fantastic. Thank you, Kim. It does look good on TV. And so here's a good idea for you folks. There are multiple ways to get our stream up on television. If you have YouTube, you can go to our YouTube channel and broadcast it that way. You can cast it to your television. There are all kinds of ways, HDMI cable to your computer. Get us up on that big screen TV. It certainly helps with the resolution. You can see things a whole lot better. It's hard to see all this data on a small phone. So if you can get us streaming up on your television, then hey, that's the way to go. If you can stream Facebook, most smart TVs let you stream Facebook now. So go to your Facebook app on your smart TV and voila, there you go. And let me say this while we're talking about it. Hopefully, within the next several weeks, we are going to have a Dr. Don mobile app for your phone. It'll be available in both versions. And so you'll be able to watch us on our app. We're going to have all kind of cool and neat things, we believe. We're still in the development stages. I was hoping to have it done by last weekend. I thought it would be a little simpler than it is. I can assure you it is not a simple process, but we're going to make it happen. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Bernard Shepard's in the house with us. Thank you, Bernard. Good to see you, my friend. Joanne Kramer's watching us from Bowden. There's some folks over in Oconee County, Georgia. Yeah, he's been out suntanning today. Cindy is watching us in Mumford. Same thing up there, Cindy. I really think the biggest threat, or certainly the largest threat right now, is going to be flooding. If you happen to be under one of those red spots you see there on the radar, then you're getting heavy rainfall. So if this rain sets up on top of you, because we've already received so much rain over the last several days, if one of these thunderstorms set up right on top of you, we could have flooding at your location real quick. So for the time being, the immediate threat for East Alabama is flooding. Later on tonight, we may have to deal with some severe thunderstorms as well. Christopher, thank you for asking that. Here's the best way to do it. Go to drdonwx.com. That's our website. Brand new. We just redid the website. Jonathan Jones, my IT guy, has been working really hard on that. We're not completely through with it yet, but if you'll go to drdonwx.com, there on the home page, there's a donate button, and all you have to do is click on it, and you do not have to have a PayPal account. You can do it with or without. And that's the easiest way to help us out here at Dr. Don's weather page. You can go to our PayPal account at paypal.me/Dr. Don WX as well. But the simplest thing to do is to simply go to our website, drdonwx.com. That's DRDONWX.com. You'll see the donate button there on the home page. And that's the easiest way to support us here at Dr. Don's weather page. And we appreciate you asking, Christopher. All right, so here's a question. Will Randolph County only be experiencing flash flooding tonight? I don't know the answer to that. That's the immediate threat for now. But we do have a line of thunderstorms back over along the Alabama-Mississippi state line that will be moving east across Alabama and eventually make it into East Alabama. And we could have to deal with some severe thunderstorms when that line gets in here. Now, I will say this, with so much rain falling over the last couple of hours across East Alabama, it has rain-cooled the atmosphere. So if you're north of that band of rain that's in East Alabama now, and I'm talking about Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, Harris, Troup, and North, odds are in your favor that you won't have to deal with tornadic type thunderstorms because the atmosphere is getting cooled up right now. But understand there's a warm front down there right along I-85 that's lifting north, and that may destabilize the atmosphere again, so that when this stuff along the Alabama-Mississippi state line swings through East Alabama, they may still be rather strong. So it's hard to answer that question about whether or not Randolph County will only have to deal with flash flooding. That's the immediate threat. We're going to have to wait and see about anything else later on this evening. Lawrence County, Alabama, they've got some heavy stuff up there right now. Nothing severe, but they do have some storms up there right now. All right, Cecilia's asking if there is sound. I certainly hope so. There's supposed to be. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Thank you, CJ. I love you too. Brittany's asking the question, what time do we need to be ready for severe weather in Randolph? Well, I consider flash flooding severe. So that could happen at any moment. If we're talking damaging straight line winds, tornadoes, and hail, that would be embedded in that stuff you see over there in West Alabama, and that's probably at least 2, if not 3 hours away. If it holds together. Now, there's always a possibility that it won't. We're about to lose the heating of the day, but I got to tell you, the atmosphere is conducive for severe weather. But I think we're looking at probably, it's 4:32 Central, probably 8 p.m. at the earliest, maybe later than that. This could end up being an all-night deal, because this isn't the end of it. We'll have another line of storms that will come through sometime after midnight tonight, or maybe tomorrow morning, that will finally push all this stuff out of here. Understand, we have what's happening now. We have another line over there, which is line number 2, and there will be a third one. It remains to be seen exactly when it's going to move through. Foster's Crossroads is in the house. Roanoke, thank you. All right, Cecilia has sound now. That's good. Ashland, Alabama's in the house. No, Matt, that's not wrong at all. It's been kind of like Christmas morning around here, too, trying to get this thing ready to get published. And that's the problem. We're ready to get it published, but I had no earthly idea the process you have to go through to publish an app through Apple and on your Android. It is a process. As a matter of fact, I started the process and decided, this is probably not for me. So I'm letting my app company handle that for me. which is going to cost a little more money, but chances are a little higher that it'll get done right the first time. Jonathan's shaking his head yes. Woodland, Alabama is in the house. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate those kind words. Roxanne. Yeah, right there on the screen there. Chance and Christopher both posted links where you can support Dr. Don's weather page. Either one of them is perfectly fine. It ends up going to the same place, but maybe the drdonwx.com is a little easier to remember. And just go to the website there on the home page. I believe it's the upper right-hand corner. Or close to the upper right-hand corner, there's a donate button there, and all you gotta do is click on it, and you are on your way. Yeah, Matt, I will. I'll post on Facebook, and yeah, I'll make a big to-do about it. You'll know it's there. Morrison's Crossroads is in the house. Cindy says she had a couple of trees fall earlier today. The neighbor got out and cut them up. Yeah, and it has cooled off considerably since the rain started this afternoon across Talladega, Randolph, Clay, Chambers, Coosa, and Tallapoosa. But understand, there is a warm front lined up just along or maybe just a little bit north of the I-85 corridor, and that thing is going to lift back to the north slowly this evening. And so it's cool right now, but we may actually warm up a few degrees as that warm front lifts back to the north. Margaret's watching us at the public library in Roanoke. Used to live right behind the library. I know right where you're at. Amy's watching us, Highway 48 in Wedowee. Martha's got us going in Wedowee. Beth's asking a question about Newnan, and unfortunately, Beth, that Newnan is another area that doesn't need to deal with more severe weather. Unfortunately, yes, Newnan would be in the path of this. Right now, not a whole lot happening over there in Coweta County, just some light to occasionally moderate rain. But all that stuff over there in West Alabama is going to move off to the east and eventually will move into West Georgia and could potentially affect the Newnan area. Still a major cleanup operation going on in East Alabama and West Georgia from the tornadoes just a little over a month ago. There's Corinth in the house. Thank you, Joe. Nice to see you. Thank you, Heather. We're working on it. We're trying to get it out. No, Michelle. Well, for the moment it is, but now the problem we have, Michelle's asking the question, is the bad weather gone for Wedowee? And the answer is no. The bad weather's gone from Wedowee, but the threat still exists. Right now, there's not a whole lot happening in Wedowee, but heavy rain over the next couple of hours will be the primary threat. And then as we get into mid-evening toward maybe 9, as early as 8, maybe 9 or 10 p.m. this evening, we're going to have a line of thunderstorms move through East Alabama. So no, Wedowee is not out of the woods just yet. Roosterville. I came through Roosterville Saturday. Roosterville, Georgia. Nice to have you, Carrie. No power 2 miles west of Clay Randolph County line. Audrey's asking the question, is it going to be bad in Wedowee? Don't know. I wish I had that crystal ball so I could tell you exactly what it was going to do when it gets here. There's just so many variables, you know. I know what we're looking at right now, and what we're looking at right now is prompting severe thunderstorm warnings. So, you know, we don't have anything tornadic out there right this minute. But that could certainly change. I'll put the warnings back on for you. And you can see back over there on I-20 from just west of Birmingham all the way down to just north of, Bogalusa, just north of Baton Rouge. The National Weather Service is warning for every single mile of that line of thunderstorms from just west of Birmingham, Alabama, all the way down to just north of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's a long way. And that line is moving off to the east. So if you take all these yellow boxes and move them from left to right across the screen, you see where they end up. If the line holds together, these thunderstorms will end up over here in East Alabama, probably from about Cleburne County south. Remains in that threat area for these storms later on this afternoon or later on this evening. We're still a couple of 2-3 hours away from this line making it into East Alabama. In the meantime, you got all this heavy rain down here in Talladega, Coosa, stretching back into Chambers. All this stuff is streaming to the northeast. So flooding is your immediate threat in East Alabama and West Georgia. A couple of 2-3 hours from now, severe thunderstorms will be the primary threat, and flooding with those storms as well. Hey, James Shepard, nice to see you. Ophelia's in the house. Good to have you, Leah. Thank you, Herbert Whitlow. Good to see you in here, my friend. Newell, Alabama's in the house, as well as Malone, Roanoke, New Prospect Road and County Road 5 in Clay County. They have Mavals in here tonight. Paige is watching us up in Woodland, Alabama. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Michelle. Hogansville, Georgia. Good to have you folks over there in Georgia watching us. You know, I'm in Georgia. I spent 22 years on radio in East Alabama, covering East Alabama and West Georgia. That's why I do this. Had quite a following back then because weather's my specialty. That's just what I do. Then moved to Georgia 10, 11 years ago. And with modern technology the way it is, I can offer weather coverage to East Alabama, to areas that don't get good wall-to-wall coverage from television outlets. And the other problem is the easternmost counties in Alabama are in the Atlanta ADI or the Atlanta television market. Atlanta doesn't pick it up, and Birmingham drops it. So we're filling that void for East Alabama primarily, and also for you guys over there in West Georgia. You do get Atlanta television. Atlanta does cover West Georgia, but I was with you for 22 years, and a lot of you know me, so that's why you folks in West Georgia follow me, I'm quite sure, and I appreciate that. And it's nice to see folks a little closer to Metro watching us, too. Good to have you, Hogansville. Leah's also saying that there's no power near Mad Indian on Highway 48. Power's out 2 miles east of Randolph Clay Line. Yeah, that was a scary night, Beth. Beth is saying that her daughter lives in Newnan. She lives in Randolph County, and that last tornado kind of threaded the needle right between the both of them. Pet Kettle Hills in the house in Woodland. Thank you, Mike. Bethel East Community. Good to have you in here. Thank you, Sharon. How will the weather be between 6 and 7 from Opelika to Wadley? It's going to be rainy, but right now, nothing severe. But be very careful. And as I said at the top of this broadcast, if you were to encounter water across the roadway, do not cross it. You don't know what's under that water. You can't tell. It's going to be getting dark. And there certainly could be some ponding water out there on the roadways, but that's really the only threat right now between 6 and 7, between Opelika and Wadley. All right, those little pinwheels that you see spinning over here, those are mesoscale detection. That's the radar telling us that those storms are rotating. For instance, this particular storm has a index of 8, low-level rotation about 50 knots with a base height of about 9K. That's something that's telling the forecasters to really watch this storm. It's not showing tornadic activity right now, but it has that structure. It has the structure that it would need to drop a tornado. So I would expect, let me just check one of these thunderstorm warnings here. I would expect these to be severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible. Let's just see if I'm correct on that. Nope, I'm not correct on that. Let me see if some of these other ones maybe do. Come on, I got to be correct. Let's see here. No, sometimes you'll see severe thunderstorm warnings that say tornado possible, and those are typically issued when you have mesoscale detection that's showing strong rotation, but it's not making it all the way to the ground. So they'll just issue a severe thunderstorm warning with the verbiage that it could drop a tornado at any moment. And that's kind of what I would expect just glancing at the radar, but without going and looking at the velocity product, it's kind of hard to determine that. But that's what that is. Those are mesoscale detections. It's telling you that the storms are rotating. Yes, Randolph County's under a flood advisory. Let me put that back on. It'll take just a minute for it to load. Randolph County is under a flood advisory, which goes out till 10 p.m. this evening. Their tornado watches are those blue counties. The closest, or the only couple of counties in East Alabama that are under the tornado watch at the moment are Coosa, Tallapoosa, and Elmore. Of course, Chilton County, Autauga, Lowndes, Montgomery, and Dallas are also covered under that tornado watch. And you'll see, if you can see what they're doing here. They're warning for that line of storms coming out of Mississippi into West Alabama as it sweeps across the state. So you folks up there in Talladega, Clay, Randolph, Chambers, you're not in the tornado watch at the moment, but you're close enough. So you need to be, especially you folks who live in southern Talladega, southern Clay, southern Randolph, be real careful because as this line comes through, and they may, a little later on this evening, they may replace this tornado watch with a new one, or If the line doesn't get as severe as originally expected, they may downgrade it to a severe thunderstorm watch. All kind of possibilities, and this line of storms is still so far away from us. We got all kind of time for things to change. But the original question, yes, Randolph County is under a flood advisory. So is Clay, and Talladega is under a flash flood warning and a flood advisory. Hannah's asking a question about timing on that line of storms over in West Alabama. I'm just guessing maybe another couple of 2 or 3 hours. Probably somewhere around 8 p.m., 8 to 9 p.m. It's really hard to say because there's still a lot of variables as to how fast it moves. But I think 8 to 9 p.m. this evening is a good guesstimate on the arrival. Okay, folks, I'm going to reset this and tell you what's going on and what we expect to happen, and then I'm going to step aside. You know how it goes. I got to go get the coffee pot ready, and you try to grab as much rest as you can. I have a full-time job on top of this. I've been going since 4:30 this morning, so as long as we're not, our threshold to go live typically is one of our counties go under a warning. And obviously we have no warnings out there right now. So I'm going to reset what we're planning on, and then I'm going to take a break. And then as conditions warrant, or if the threat level rises or lessens, then I'll come back and we'll go live again and let you know what's going on. So it is 4:51 p.m. Central. You're watching Dr. Don's Weather. We're broadcasting from the Southern Union State Community College Live Severe Weather Center, and we are watching the possibility of severe weather for Alabama and Georgia tonight. The National Weather Service has already issued a flash flood advisory for Randolph County. We have flash flooding issues all across East Alabama and West Georgia, and if you're not experiencing flash flooding right now in your location, all it's going to take is one of those red spots to move right over your house, and it's going to change real quick. That's why they call it flash flooding. Ground is completely saturated, and flash flooding may end up being the largest threat we have tonight, and that is significant. So be real careful, especially if you're going to be out there on the roadways. Do not drive across areas that are covered with water. It's dangerous. Don't do that. But we have heavy thunderstorms now. The heaviest in East Alabama is going to be over here in Coosa County. Let's just go down to street level, and we'll take a real close look at all of this before we take our break. And we'll start down here in Chambers County, Lynette, back down to just north of Auburn, maybe around Oak Bowery. Some heavy rain down there right along I-85 back toward Hughley and Valley. And these are just scattered broken showers. These are not severe by no means. Some heavy rain right there on Highway 431 just south of the Randolph County, Chambers County line. That stretches back over into Troup County. And then as we move over to Tallapoosa County, Highway 280 is just a horrible ride right now from Auburn all the way to Birmingham, really. Heavy rainfall along 280. Get up there around Dadeville, Alexander City, just some really heavy rainfall occurring there right now. Let me put the lightning back on here so we can kind of get a look at that. Yes, as I expected, pretty good lightning right there around Alexander City. Let's go in a little bit closer on that storm. Around Goodwater, just north of Kellyton, we have some lightning taking place there. Some smaller strikes back over around Hanover, along Highway 231, maybe some hail just to the west of Hanover. About a 10% chance that we have hail right there, but we do have a hail marker on the radar. Alexander City, you're in pretty good shape right this minute. Maybe some Scattered showers there just to the south, back down toward Lake Martin, just north of our town. And then as we look over here in Coosa County, we've got some hail showing up just south of Kelly's Crossroads. They're just south of Highway 22, just to the east of the Coosa County, Chilton County line. So Highway 22, not a good ride. And yes, that's the same 22 that goes all the way over to Wadley. So we come back up into Coosa County. Again, very heavy rainfall from Kellyton back up to Goodwater, back over to Stewartville, Weguffca, Blue Springs. Just copious amounts of rain falling over there. Flash flooding could quickly become a problem right there. Then we get up here in Talladega County, Sylacauga, very heavy rainfall occurring at the moment. Back over into Clay County, Hollins, we've got some rain. Millerville, this stuff is coming up from Coosa County. It's going to run right up into Clay County. So Millerville getting in on the action now. And then right there along the stairs, as we call them, right there along the Talladega Clay County line, some heavy rainfall up there around Waldo, just to the north of Concord, up around Chehaw State Park. And then over in Randolph County, some rain up there around Pine Tucky, Foster's Crossroads. Wedowie's in the clear right now. Roanoke's in the clear too for the most part. Maybe a few sprinkles taking place there in Roanoke. Wadley's got some moderate rain right there along Highway 22. That's moving to the northeast. And you can see up there in Cleburne County some heavy showers just south of I-20. For the most part, Heard County is just looking at light to moderate showers right now. So you can see that really the only storm that's dropping significant lightning right now is going to be that one over in extreme northeastern Coosa County. That'll move up into southern Clay. And then up here in eastern Talladega County, we have some lightning there as well. And that's pretty much it for now for East Alabama. But again, as I zoom all the way out, you can see all of these severe thunderstorm warnings back over here to the west along the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And all of that stuff is going to continue moving off to the east, maybe a little bit to the northeast. So at least the southern half of our coverage area of East Alabama will probably have to deal with this line of thunderstorms in another couple of hours, maybe 8-ish this evening. And then you folks on the northern end of East Alabama will have to watch this as well. That stuff up there right now is not severe, but it could go severe. We do have a warm front down here around I-85 that's moving north, and that could help to destabilize this atmosphere over here in East Alabama when this line moves through. But the good news right now, we're only seeing severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, I say only. I'm not trying to lessen a severe thunderstorm, because a severe thunderstorm can cause just as much damage as a tornado. But the good news is we don't see any tornado warnings with any of this so far. That could change, though, in the next hour or so. So that's where we stand right now. It's 4:58 p.m. Central. I'm going to step aside and gather some more weather information, gather a cup of coffee, and continue watching what's going on. I'll be posting on Facebook, and if conditions warrant, a little later on this evening, I'll be back with you, and we'll continue our live severe weather coverage right here on Dr. Don's weather page in the Southern Union State Community College Live Severe Weather Center. Hope you guys stay weather aware this evening, and I'll be back with you real soon.